After watching the Joe Rogan podcast with Edward Snowden, how do you personally feel about him? Do you think what he did was right or wrong? Should we be awarding whistleblowers like himself? Whistleblowers are an asset and should be awarded and protected. Some of the highest level crimes have been within government agencies, and without a whistleblower they may have never been exposed. Some of the highest level crimes have been within government agencies. I think you're missing a key point there. The government specifically makes the laws so that what they're doing isn't a crime. That's the real issue. No, the key point, and why Snowden went public, do none of you read the news, was precisely because what they were doing was illegal under US law. And the govt makes it so that people who tell the public about these now non-criminal acts are guilty of treason and deserve any punishment the state decides slavery with extra steps it is. How does this play out with secret laws made in secret courts by secret judges though? Is that even a law at that point? We have a specific system that is supposed to test this stuff and balance it all out, but some very specific people have crafted their own system within that framework and just arbitrarily declared it valid, and it's been accepted because the average citizen is too buzzed or lazy or distracted to care. The third definition of crime according to Google is an action or activity that, although not illegal, is considered to be evil, shameful, or wrong. Crime can be legal. You're talking about a colloquial use of the word crime, not how it's being used in this context. I disagree, Imo. Some of the highest level crimes are almost always crimes against humanity as a whole, which are not regulated by any one nation's laws. I would qualify that statement a bit. I agree true whistleblowing is a good thing and should be rewarded. However, we have to have some context into where that whistleblower got their information and what kind of agenda they might be pushing. Example, Julian Assange paints himself as someone who is looking to release secrets people in power want to keep quiet and was a key component in the whole Hillary Clinton email server scandal. But Assange also held a talk show for Russia Today, meaning he was on Putin's payroll and has numerous ties to the Russian state. https://www.vox.com/world/2017/1/4179240/wikileaks-russia. Ties where he got the information on Clinton is still unclear, but maybe, just maybe, he was acting to the benefit of his former employer, Putin, as opposed to being a really nice guy looking out for the best interests of the Western world. He didn't appear on a talk show. He was paid to host his own show. https wikipedia.org wiki world tomorrow. As for RT is a well-respected broadcaster not by Western standards. RT has been frequently described as a propaganda outlet for the Russian government. 12. And its foreign policy. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. RT has also been accused of spreading disinformation. 18, 19, 20, by news reporters. 21, 22, including some former RT reporters. 23, 24, 25, the United Kingdom media regulator, Ofcom, has repeatedly found RT to have breached its rules on impartiality and on one occasion found it had broadcast materially misleading content. 26, 27, 28, 29. RT's editor-in-chief compared it with the Russian army and defense ministry, and talked about it waging the information war against the entire Western world. 30. https://wikipedia.org wiki RT TV network. I didn't claim everyone who appears on a T is a Russian asset, but when trying to view the spread of information it is important to know the potential agendas of those spreading that information. I think Snowden did a very brave public service for the United States. He exposed gross violations of the Constitution which were embraced at the highest levels of two branches of government. The remaining branch, which had the duty to verify that laws were being respected, lacked the access to do so. Millions of people were having their constitutional rights violated but could not even sue the government because the data that proved such abuse was happening was hidden beyond the reach of the justice system. And, of course, There is really no reason to use the past tense for any of this discussion. Did he break the law? Sure. But a guy who stops a mugging by shooting the mugger is potentially committing a crime. If the court were not allowed to be informed that a mugging was taking place and had to punish the Good Samaritan based solely on whether he shot another person, that would be a travesty. But that is exactly the scenario that Snowden would face in US courts. The last safeguard of the Constitution when the government will not defend it is the people. We should throw Edward Snowden a parade. Some of the major things that inform my opinion of Snowden are the fact that he actually did try to follow the proper whistleblower path. He was ignored before going the route he did. That said, he's not without things I can criticize. When you are whistleblowing, you should bring very specific things to light. Information dumps, especially where you aren't very certain what all is contained in what you are dumping, are not a good thing and can risk state secrets or lives. That said, I feel like Snowden did a better job being selective than Chelsea Manning, which might also explain why they are seen in different lights. It will be interesting to see if he is pardoned by some future president. I understand not wanting to encourage exposing state secrets or taking extra legal routes to achieve your goals, but if the US really is who they aspire to be, you have to look at what he did as morally good. I admire the guy. It was a selfless act. He sacrificed his career for the betterment of American citizens. He needs to be pardoned. https://en.m.wikipedia.org Wiki pardon of Richard Nixon. How do you accept a pardon without admitting guilt? In the course of the action, that was probably the idea. But in reality he let people know the degree at which they were collecting, and this has definitely sparked concern over security ever since. He did nothing but tell the truth. What bothers me more is how little Americans cared. It's really hard for me to understand how anybody could be anti-Snowden. Yeah, I don't get how anyone is anti-whistleblower lol. I feel like he got screwed for doing the right thing. There was no right way to do it and still be effective. Whistleblowing to the boss doesn't work when the boss ordered the thing in the first place. Yeah, what the hell did people want him to do? Is it because he went to Hong Kong and Russia and people just assume he's bad? He had no other option if he wanted to leak. I still like Joe. Joe did the right thing by giving Ed an interview. I think he was right. I don't like that the filth of a government watches people and listens in on their calls. It's not a matter of national security that I'm talking to a friend about RDR2's Halloween event. Don't base your opinion of Snowden solely on his interview with Rogan. Do some actual research on him. Like he was trying really hard to tell his life story as if it was interesting, but besides the fallout from his whistleblowing, here is very boring guy. His self-promoting and book plugging was just plain exhausting. He has to make a living somehow, seeing as he has been banished from his home country and all. There have been a shit-ton of people on that show that were not selling something. They were on there to talk about their field of work or their life, or like Neil D. Tyson, just to say random facts about space and physics. To be fair, NDT will go anywhere he can talk about NDT without interruption. If you don't think Neil D. Tyson is all about selling things, then have I got a bridge to give to you. Snowden is charged under the Espionage Act, which is a strict liability crime. That means a jury is not allowed to consider whether what he did is right or wrong, or whether the government was committing crimes that warranted whistleblowing, only whether he did it or not. It also means that Snowden is not allowed to mention those justifications to the jury in court. Because of that, it's not possible for him to have a fair trial. He's a man who took on the biggest mob, and was treated exactly as you'd expect someone who takes them on to be treated. He's an American hero, the likes of the founding fathers, who themselves rebelled against a tyrant ruler in order to secure the rights of theirs and the people of this nation. What most people don't understand is there is an entire system to protect whistleblowers like him without making all the secret things he made public. I absolutely support him for bringing into light what the NSA was doing, but find him abhorrent for not doing it the proper way. Example is the current whistleblowers outing the White House. The president wants to tear these people down, but they have a protected status, and not even the president can touch them. Snowden would have had these same protections. Edit. Typo edit 2. Mind blown. Mr. Snowden was a contractor and not entitled to whistleblower status. So I stand corrected. There is some way for contractors to whistleblow. I'm going to ask around and get back to this post. Bullshit there is. It's like calling HR to file a complaint about your boss, and then HR calls your boss to tell them you complained about them, and so you get fired for performance or some other bullshit excuse. Snowden was also blowing the whistle on the biggest, most clandestine agency on US soil, one that essentially had managerial access to said whistleblower pipeline. The US Merit Systems Protection Board, MSPB, uses agency lawyers in the place of administrative law judges to decide federal employees' whistleblower appeals. These lawyers, dubbed attorney examiners, deny 98% of whistleblower appeals. The board and the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals give great deference to their initial decisions, resulting in affirmance rates of 97% and 98%, respectively. Would you trust a system that is essentially operated by the people you're trying to knock on? Especially when you know that your complaint will be a drop that disappears into the bucket. Especially when you know it's decided by a secret court, and if you lose, you'll never have another chance. The Supreme Court has ruled this protection only applies to government workers when the disclosure is not directly related to the job, and when you know you're trying to talk about your job, and that's specifically not protected. Snowden was the first major whistleblower post 9/11, when our surveillance state was basically at its most aggressive and clandestine point. To do anything other than what he did would be stupid, and he's an analyst. He knows how to play 3D chess. A whistleblower is anyone who uncovers activities that could be illegal, unethical or inappropriate, and then reports that activity to authorities or otherwise makes the activities known, i.e., reporting the wrongdoing to a news outlet. Above quote from How Does the Whistleblower Protection Act Work? https. Search compliance.target.com definition Whistleblower Protection Act. I think he didn't do it the proper way, because the proper way meant telling the people who were involved in the bad stuff, right? That's like tattling on your teacher that she's drinking whiskey in class, to the teacher. Yes, it was the case. See the reply to your reply https://www.reddit.com/r/after_watching_the_with_F51woy2. My understanding after listening to the podcast is that he sent the documents to well-known and established media outlets and asked that they not put any person in danger. How would you have done it? When you work in the US government, there are inspector generals, IG, who you can have protected communications with, meaning it's akin to lawyer-client privilege. If someone like Snowden goes to the IG in his department making the claims that he eventually released to the media, that IG is required by law to investigate wrongdoing or law breaking. The complaint he had would have gone way beyond his department and would have been looked at by the federal IG, and they have way more power to hold people accountable. All Snowden did, in my opinion, is allow the people who were breaking the law to shred the documents as the media started leaking things, versus an IG investigation where without knowing all of a sudden someone comes into work and their PC is gone being scanned by investigators. https://www.nsf.gov/org/edit. Thanks to Green Advance for educating me on the part that Mr. Snowden was a contract and not entitled to IG protections. So my argument is invalid regarding Mr. Snowden utilizing the IG system for protection. That's all well and good, except one of the documents that Snowden leaked was a copy of an Inspector General report on the Stellar Wind program, which indicates that not only did the proper channels for whistleblowing already know about it, they didn't do anything about it either. https://www.f.org/deeplinks/2018/11 snowden-files-declaration-nsa-spying-case-confirming-authenticity-draft. Inspector. If the proper whistleblowing channels are complicit in the crimes, then what recourse is there but to go to the media? And that right there contains the answer to the question, why did Snowden not leverage whistleblowing channels? Whistleblowers expose crimes of government. The agencies that are supposed to guarantee freedom to expose government secrets to government. It's kind of a trust thing. Are you a troll? He did not defect to Russia. His passport was revoked when he was literally on a layover there. After 39 days of living in the airport terminal, he was granted 1 year of asylum in Russia, which I believe ended up being extended. This was not his intention, and he has stated he would like to return to the US if he could be guaranteed a fair trial. He has been specific about what that means, if you care to look it up. Mind you, this was also in 2013, before all of the most recent Russia bullshit. He also did not dump them online without cur. He sent them to reputable media individuals with an explicit request to redact any information that could put lives in danger. The people he was supposed to report as Shtita were involved in what he wanted to report. When that happens, what other option is there than to tell the media in hopes that they tell the American public? Man, you'd love WeChat in China. A legitimately super convenient service at the expense of ridiculous government surveillance at the micro and macro level. Most there don't mind the trade-off, and it really is convenient as hell.